It's not about the jump. It's about
the handle. All the wind that's gonna come out.
Just going here, take 2 real quick. Just want to get stepped on.
Take 2. We usually go about 6 takes before we even get started. So wait, real quick, Jaquan, you just gonna act like you don't claim this name?
Nah, that name's terrible.
It's terrible. Oh, wait,
it works, but it's like
the truth is coming out because that's not what you were saying. You did not say that the last.
I was like, it's decent. Just let it rock.
You gotta come up with a name if you think it's terrible.
I mean, I gotta sit there and scramble for some time, but I'm like,
it's
kind of corny, but
before this episode ends to come up with a new name.
Alright. Topic. Introduce.
Alright, so pretty much, right?
You got it.
We all know we like to watch comedians. Dave Chappelle in particular is getting a lot of heat. And following a lot of things he said about, LGBT statements, what he was saying, transphobic issues, all that, the whole nine. It pretty much erupted from that special that he just released on Netflix.
Yeah, we all know Dave Chappelle. He's not shy to stir up controversy.
Oh yeah, never.
And he always throws himself in the fire. He talks about the hottest topics.
That man speaks his mind. Yeah, like he does, unapologetically.
So what I will say about the special, he definitely points out a lot of hypocrisy, about how we engage and how we react when it comes to certain minority groups, certain oppressed minority groups. And he does that in a joking manner. But that's Dave Chappelle. Oh, y'all. What y'all raising for?
Was it a raise?
Oh, no. You just, you leave that there.
Yeah, you leave that out.
That was different than the tutorial. I ain't seen it happen yet.
Wait. We didn't finish betting yet.
Well, y'all taking too long.
I'm sorry. Damn. We got to talk and we got to play.
God.
Multitask. All right. So, match, pot, and now we do the turn.
Number 4.
I was teaching Monica how to do this before we started.
Yeah, that's how I'm hyped to practice.
And she was just so ready to place that 4th card.
A little too ready.
All right.
Yep.
All right, but back to it though.
What in the world? Who's betting some more?
Me.
What I would like to ask is, do you guys think?
Didn't bet yet.
Oh, whoops.
I put
50.
Because I'm not.
No, these are mine.
Oh.
I'll just make sure Malik can see it.
Big
y'all
ball
sure y'all know
out
how to
here.
play this game?
Oh, we know. I'm Malik Match.
What's the
we
5th
need on
card?
the podcast? Like,
What's the 5th card called, Monica?
Number 5.
Okay, it's not like the number is on the name is on the table, but you know.
That don't make sense. Primer? Doesn't it say?
Okay, I think you need your glasses.
That means number 1.
That's his river.
Well, that actually don't make sense.
Yo, how you a doctor who can't read? Like, come on.
I don't read these words.
He needs to be an optometrist. That's
I
what
don't
you
need Wow.
All right, so everybody bet. Let's do the last card. All right.
You know what to do, Malik.
He's bluffing, Malik. You got fire. You didn't back
put
down.
My cards down.
He's bluffing.
He
Because listen, if y'all see the previous videos, Jaquan done lost every single one. So he's trying to come back today.
Not today, straight. What you got?
What you got, Malik?
Ain't shit. Give me that.
5, 6, 7, 8. Where's your straight? Oh, I didn't see the 9. How is slapping the cards gonna help me?
Look.
Say 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I didn't see the 9.
7, 9, 8, 7, 6.
I didn't see the 9. That's what I said. And I didn't. Oh, I'm blind. I'm blind.
Forgot to count.
I was looking for the. I thought it was right.
Somebody else needs to be in optometry.
Back to the topic at hand.
I want to ask.
Gotta slow down.
Was Chappelle productive in his way of bringing out the hypocrisy? Again, like I said, with oppressed minority groups. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the way he?
Well, Donte sounded like he about to spit. Go ahead, Donte.
Nah. I'm gonna wait for the conversation to get a little further in before I say what I got.
Man, you was about to say everything with your whole chest.
I would say,
with your chest.
All right. Monica's taking
I feel like he was productive in his own way. He still was being a comedian, but he made some valid points at the same time.
Okay, so I know he brought up points like, for example, the baby, how his career was really only jeopardized when he got in trouble with the LGBTQ.
Yes, but the hilarious thing is the baby actually killed somebody.
Right.
I think it was a self-defense incident. I gotta look into it.
At
But
Walmart.
he did kill somebody at Walmart, and nothing happened to his career for shooting that guy. But
In Walmart.
he says some, he says some words that obviously, the baby was talking out his ass.
But when you look at it in the situation of the baby, the people who aren't going to care are his fans. They're still going to be his fans.
Yeah, of course.
They know how he is
of course. But obviously, the baby kind of said something that was like, it just didn't make that much sense.
Nah,
It didn't make that much sense, but if you're a fan of his, you're going to know what he's.
Yeah. Well,
but I feel like one of the main points that Dave Chappelle brought up was this, like, the difference in the LGBTQ movement versus, like, the Black Lives Matter movement and the progress that both movements have made.
Oh yeah, he brought it up a lot, and that is one thing I would say. I agree on his point. There is
Black, Bryton, not blue.
There is a discrepancy in the way things. Thank you, Malik. Are
Black
progressing. He specifically brought up a point where this person was complaining that how much decades my people been oppressed, and then he's just looking.
Was it the white trans?
Miffed, looking miffed, like you don't think I understand what you're going through,
Definitely, from the black perspective.
I think it's really powerful because he did bring up the fact that at the end of the day, we're all human. We do have our struggles.
Of course, yeah, every group.
We can relate with each other.
And then Dave, in terms of his special, obviously he came from, his perspective because he's black. Of course, he can talk about the black person's. My man's had how many, sketches pertaining to the black struggle in general.
Yeah, but and another thing I like to say too
300
is that as controversial as this topic is, I like the fact that there's people who's actually trying to break down and narrow both perspectives versus just, Dave mentioned something against that community, instant shutout. Like, people are taking the time to actually think on the matter and see where both perspectives is coming from.
I think that's a powerful thing, especially in the position of a comedian. You really have to, as a comedian, you have to have this overarching knowledge to speak on a topic and then also make jokes about it. So, and I think, again, just pointing out snippets of it, Dave Chappelle does that well. He brings up points of hypocrisy and is able to make joke about it because he can talk about the overall topic and not be biased in a sense. Like, obviously he's making jokes. Like, there's gonna be some offense.
But why do y'all feel like people were so offended by this? What he said?
I'm gonna let you go first because I keep talking.
I feel like the reason why people were so offended is because they focus more on the fact that he mentioned something against that community's perspective, and because he mentioned that community alone, they're just, okay, here he is. He's trying to talk down. He's trying to bash us instead of actually focusing on what he was saying. Because a lot of things that he was pointing out is that, again, he's not indifferent to their suffering. He's not indifferent to what's going on there, and he's not homophobic or against that community. He's just trying to get them to open their eyes and see, look, we're in the same page here, so can you stop looking down on us while at the same time trying to ask for our support? Because it's not fair. Because everybody from everywhere else is looking down on us, and everybody from everywhere else already got this negative view of us, and they kept it for literally centuries because it's been hundreds of years of this oppression for us. But as soon as something happened with them, they take a stand. They got laws protecting them now. They got everything in the world. God forbid I say the wrong thing right now. I'm liable to get us in trouble if I don't watch my words right now. But somebody does something to a black person, now all of a sudden, we can sweep that under the rug easy, regardless of how far we take it. Again, with the point of the baby in Walmart, gunfight, nothing. He made some controversial statements on the stage, right, where he didn't even directly say LGBT. He didn't even directly say the group. He just made the statements, but that group is giving him so much heat. They're trying to take him off songs, etc., etc. Like, that's the point he's making. Everybody snaps their fingers, run like wildfire to help them, but then when it come to us, it's like we get cricket sounds. It's not fair. At least from my perspective, that's what I feel like he was getting at.
And I think it's important to differentiate the white LGBT community versus the black LGBT community. Because
talking about the races.
Is there really a difference?
Yes, there is a difference. There's a big difference, bro.
Yeah. The black LGBT community has the issues of being black and also of being LGBT. But the white LGBT community still has the privilege of being white, and the issue is that they are
being white.
They what?
The perspective of being white. Not necessarily
the
privilege.
perspective and the
Yeah.
privilege.
But
I don't know. I feel like this conversation of like the LGBT community getting like these laws passed like with the quickness when black people have been dealing with stuff for centuries without the basic laws being passed for them, it has to do with the fact that there are LGBT people who are white.
Yeah, there's definitely advantages to having that privilege.
yeah, moving stickler.
I told you, stop telling me what to do. So yeah, and I mean, look, if you have a privilege, if you have an advantage, why not use it?
Stick long
Right?
for nothing.
In his special, he did mention that it's all I'm in a minority group till I need to use my privilege. Right? Now, I don't know if this was real or not. How we got into that boxing brawl with that transgender individual, but when it came to calling the cops, it was like, forget transgender. I'm Caucasian now, so
I'm Caucasian now.
right,
You just flip on the dime.
exactly. So.
Hilarious.
No, so and like I said, I think he does a good point where he does bring up a lot of the hypocrisy.
There is an ability to cover up being LGBT, but you cannot cover up being black.
I mean, no. I mean, one of his, I think one of his takes was, like, you're born
you got
as
a
you
can of
are.
paint.
You can't necessarily change your race when you're born. But obviously, we have the ability of, changing gender or sex, per se.
Right, it's
So
a choice.
Yeah, there is the choice of that matter. He's
In this
explaining,
day
like,
and
we
age
born
now,
in it.
you could change your gender by making a statement. I identify.
Yeah.
There goes your gender right there. In
But for
this
us, I
day
can't
and
say, oh, I'm white. Y'all gonna look at me crazy. Ain't nothing I can do about that.
What I did want to bring up real quick, because I just go back to what you were saying before, and you about why is it there's such a strong reaction when something happens with, I guess, other oppressed minority groups. And this goes back to what we had discussed in one of our earlier videos when I accidentally misidentified a woman in Cherry Valley.
That
It's like-
question answers itself, bro. Because it personally affects them. That's how they personally live their lives, and that's what's personally going on with them. So anything that happens that personally affects their livelihood or the way they go about their walk of life, in that regard, they're going to attack it. We're outside that bubble, so
How are we outside that bubble? Because
no,
being black
hold
personally affects us too.
hold on. Two different things. With them and the LGBT, anything that happens to the LGBT or anything said against or anything spoken against, they jump on and attack it because they don't want themselves being disrespected, correct? That's what I'm addressing. I'm not saying that we're sitting outside as minorities who also get discriminated against. Not where I was going. That's two different things.
No, I do disagree with what you're saying.
We could step
I do
outside,
feel
bro.
like, yeah, we could definitely step outside.
Yeah,
I'm
no
just-
doubt, no doubt.
As you walk outside, I'm gonna close
Just
the
gotta-
door behind you, so you
cool,
can't
cool.
come back in.
No, you come with me.
No, I ain't coming with you.
We go to the terrace, bro.
We good.
We got options.
I'm like I said, you
Just
can go on the
sliding out
terrace.
the
I'm gonna
I'm about
close
to
the
pull
door
up the
behind
baby
you.
on you, bro.
I just,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, I heard this is a threat. Somebody called the cops.
My man
Man,
said
I
this.
feel like we need to talk about this difference further though.
Yes,
Like,
yes, we
y'all
do.
need to
No,
elaborate.
because
Yeah, go ahead.
well, how can you say it doesn't personally affect us? It's two different things. Like we were born this way.
All right, bro. Before you continue, I feel like I know where this conversation is going. You're just misunderstanding the way I said something. 'Cause we are on the
So
same
then
page.
explain.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we're not affected and we're not groups who go through things. I was literally just talking about the LGBT, and from the way they was talking in his special, when you say something offensive against them, what do they do? What do they do? Tell me.
They react.
Okay, they get mad at it, right?
Request policies.
They request
be
policy.
changed.
That's where I'm going. That's all I was saying.
But we don't do the same.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we don't. I was literally just specifically talking about them in that instant. I wasn't saying
No,
that we
again,
don't
but what I was
do the
saying
same.
is, why is it that there's such a difference in reaction? Because clearly we asked for
Right.
the same thing.
Now
So
I
why
can
you're
address that, but
specifying
before I was literally just making that statement only about them.
Well-
Now we can address what you just said.
All right, go ahead.
But I wasn't fusing our perspective, bro. We was always on the
Okay,
same
so-
page.
and
It was
now-
just
now
a
that we're talking about both
miscommunication
groups-
or misunderstanding of what I said.
Why? Okay, now that we're talking about
Yes.
that groups, right?
We
Can you
always-
give an answer as to why there's such a difference in reaction?
Like I said earlier, because it's their personal narrative. The LGBT, right? All right, outside of the people and the black people in the LGBT community, right? The non-LGBT black people, our biggest issue is the racism, while theirs is being a part of that community and being affected by racism, right? But now take the members who are not. The non-black LGBT, right? Their only issue is the attacks and the slander against that group of said people, correct? right?
So what you're saying is they can then, like we discussed before, just use their privilege, switch it up, and be like, okay, well, because I'm oppressed here, let me use this advantage to then get what I want in this.
Which is the other thing that Dave Chappelle was getting at when he made his statement.
Sorry, my bad.
About now you remember that you're this all of a sudden when it's time to be that.
Yeah. So your answer to my question is essentially they will use white privilege, essentially the non-black LGBT community, of course.
Okay.
I think it also has just to do, how society responds to these issues. Like, in addition to like each individual group wanting to be respected, like wanting all this stuff for them,
right?
Like the way society responds is like clearly different. Like black people are getting killed just for being black. If an LGBT person's feelings are hurt because someone said something about them, like that, the response is so much bigger than like for a black person getting killed.
Yeah.
So like, why is that?
As the media has a unusual power sway towards the LGBT at the moment. I mean, they're getting, it's very popularized, especially in media. It seems to be like it's always used as like a prop at points, or like certain shows cater to the narrative, or it's just like this is the, you know, this is the LGBT character that's required for the show, even though they don't really bring much to the dynamic at all. They're just there to be there.
Yeah, we have talked about that. You do see.
Yeah, in essence, that's kind of where our media has shifted at this point in time. Can't recall when it happened, a couple years back, but it started happening, and it's just kind of been that way for a
So
bit.
I just want to challenge that real quick, because it's like, why? You know, is it because they're making money off of this, or this is what we requested? I'm saying we, a very general statement, but we as a people said we need more inclusivity.
Right,
everybody
which
needs
is
to
fine.
be involved, because in real life these people exist.
Of course,
they need to be shown,
and and the thing is, they are being shown more of the respect that they should have had prior. But then it comes to the argument of we wanted equality. Then we have the more radicals of a group, and instead of equality, they're able to kind of manipulate powers, like you see the baby case, where now it seems like, you know, you're shifting from equality to a superiority here because you're having some extra powers that's kind of abnormal.
That goes with a lot of groups.
Yeah.
So basically, if I wanted to put it into a perspective, like to see where Dave Chappelle was really attempting to narrow it down to from what he was saying in his special, right? I'll use this example. Let's say we had a table like how we are now, right? I'm the black minority, and the LGBT minority is sitting amongst the table.
Okay.
Now, we both said, hey, everybody else is getting fed. Why are our plates empty, right? The LGBT, after making that statement, got lobster.
Is this the minority LGBT or the white?
The LGBT overall.
Yeah, overall, yeah.
I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
Overall,
they are a minority. Yeah.
They got shrimp, whatever, lobster. They got the fanciest plate in the world after they pleaded their case, right? The black said, they pleaded their case and they understand that, you know, what it feels like to be oppressed too. Let me try that since it worked for them, right? We got half of a piece of bread in response. There, look, you got something. And then eventually that piece gets taken from us. The only ones on the other side of that table who can relate to that, but not fully, is the minority LGBT. But now, going further with that example, because they are still LGBT, and there's laws that protect them, and there's things put in place to make sure that they're always covered, even if they still don't get the same fancy dish, they still get a proper meal while we still get nothing. If I had to put in perspective how that's narrowed down. And I don't think that's fair.
But just to go further, the laws that are protecting the LGBT community is not necessarily designed to protect the black LGBT community. It's just the LGBT community as a whole. So for the black LGBT community, they're still protected in terms of like the LGBT side of it, but they still, as a black person, like they still aren't protected. So it's just like, why, like when something has to do with people that aren't black or aren't like minorities, taking like Asians out of the perspective, because that's a different category. But things just are like above and beyond. Like they get the lobster, but like, why don't we?
Which is where I think Dave was going.
Okay.
Exactly.
I mean, yes. Obviously, Dave was pointing out the extra special treatment that group is getting, but obviously the power dynamic is what's odd. He doesn't mind the equality aspect, which is exactly what everybody wants in general. That's what they advocated for. But then now it's just like, when you're seeing this extra shift of power, then it's like, alright, y'all getting a little, that's a little extra. What's going on there?
Malik, what are your thoughts?
His thoughts are he's gonna fold.
Yep.
That's
All
what I
right,
was
Donte, you
thinking.
bluffing, you won. So real quick, while we got this quick break, I just want to point out, I'm looking at the comments. Bruce Main, Spina 721. I do not like you guys. And first of all, yes, my co-hosts, they're all better than me. I'm really just here to look pretty. But still, I don't like you.
My man finally think he pretty now. Okay.
So you say I'm not?
I mean,
Okay, first you don't like the
Yo,
name,
Rorio, what's good?
and now you saying I'm not pretty.
And I'm saying what you said. I'm just saying, all right,
Wow.
Mr. Confidence. Okay.
Just show what Donte bet.
What did he bet?
Bet 150. See, I can count.
Oh, joy. Man.
Dante, was you bluffing, Dante? Was you bluffing? Oh, we had the same hand. So,
Wow, would have been a steal.
And look at that. Jaquan lost even more money.
I only lost some greens. Relax. I'm gonna get my
you gotta
chips back
win
from
one
you.
game.
I did.
You ain't getting nothing back from me.
Nah, you gonna
Go
screw
look
up.
at somebody else.
You normally always screw up eventually.
Don't look at me.
I'ma bait you. Watch.
Well, you're not.
Now slide that big, poet.
Nah, but to
Hey, I paused.
Man, get out of here.
Nah, you lost all
yo.
your rights to your whoa, bro. All them jokes you be making about that.
I be making jokes?
Yeah, with that stick.
I will
right?
walk around with a camera 24/7 just to show the audience what you be saying.
The audience,
Go right
listen,
ahead, bro.
the audience
I
are
don't
gonna
know.
have to see how much time you say stick in one day. We're gonna have to put
In one video,
we're literally
we
gonna have to
barely
put a
tried to do it in
counter
40
on you.
minutes.
That's coming in my neck.
I feel like
All
we
right.
have 6 right now. On the stick count.
I say 10.
Definitely. Let me see here.
Nah,
Hours.
to bring it back though, I feel like there's definitely been some conditioning, you know, to
By the media?
I would even say violently react to issues in the LGBTQ community and other minority groups as well.
Power dynamic.
Especially, obviously, we feel sympathy. We can empathize
Of
with
course.
other groups, so
Because
we'll
we
definitely
want-
react.
Yeah, we want them
will-
to be. I don't mind them being respected. I'm all cool. I'm here for equality, not superiority. That's the
And-
problem.
Are
And
you
then we start-
Jaquan?
Yes, because we start repeating the same mistakes of the past.
Right.
Once you give too much power to a group, you end up
The
ruining
past
dynamic
always
of humans.
repeats itself, man.
In a way. I mean, obviously, right now, that's the
Called
issue
history.
here. We want fairness, not mistreatment. That's obviously why he brought up the whole Kevin Hart case there. Kevin Hart wanted to get on the Oscars forever. Then they brought up old tweets from like a decade prior, and he's a comedian, so he made jokes about all groups. He was slandered by these old tweets that was
Wait,
deemed as homophobic.
You said that he made
Yeah.
jokes about all groups.
Yeah, but these were old jokes they brought up from him
But-
about
Let him finish.
LGBT like over a decade ago, and then pretty much the community just rioted and they wanted him off, so he had to cave.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but you see, from my standpoint, you see how you said how he made jokes about all groups.
Yeah.
He didn't leave other groups out.
No.
From what I'm getting from you.
Blacks
so,
majority
so,
of the time because he's black.
So why? So I don't get how that is an issue when he's not leaving anybody
Yeah.
out.
Because humor has been forgotten. The whole thing is humor was the safe place where you could make jokes about all groups and not.
That's
be
the way
outside.
how I see it.
That's how
But
it
like,
should.
I
be.
guess
Another
so.
point. Hold
Everybody
on.
takes it differently. I
Hold
guess.
on. And then there's another thing too. Right towards the end of Dave Chappelle's special, he made a statement saying that he's not gonna make another joke about them until we're laughing together.
Right.
Like, what do you guys think it's gonna take for that moment to come?
I mean, his special is a good inkling of throwing that. Oops.
Thank you.
Throwing his cap out there. Give him my chip. Throwing his cap out
You
there
don't
in
need no
terms
dang
of.
chip.
Obviously, he wants the community to reflect on what he was saying there. That's why he made so many jokes pertaining to them. But at the same time, he made jokes pertaining to his own group. He's showing that these jokes can universally be affected to all groups.
Yeah, he
As
made
humor
mad
should
jokes
be
about
done.
black people within that same
Yeah.
thing.
Humor should be boundless in a way. It used to be, but then people get.
I wouldn't
butthurt.
say boundless.
Yeah,
Well,
but
certain
like,
we
could-
do take it.
But like
Yeah.
when you get it, you gotta see in some standpoint, some people don't know how to catch a joke when you look at it. I'm afraid to look at the screen there.
Oh, it's
All right. So real quick,
Here's a joke.
Mango's 5 says, but is fairness and equality really the same thing? I don't think it necessarily is, and I agree. In order,
It's not.
to be fair, everybody
I mean-
can't get the same thing.
Nah, hold
Everybody
on.
can't get the same amount of food on their plate.
Let me ask an even deeper question. When you ask is fairness and equality the same thing, right?
Wait.
Are you asking about fairness and equality, or are you asking about fairness and equal opportunity?
I think that'll go hand in hand because then to have equality, you need to have equal opportunity as well.
Right.
Well, not
Because
necessarily.
hold on,
Yeah.
if we have an equal opportunity, we were both presented the same chance. But can we both actually be able to act on that chance we're given? That's what I think the main difference is.
Yeah. I think if we're starting at a different point
Taking my money.
than the other groups, then like equality is only gonna still keep us behind. Like it needs to be like equity. We need to have we need reparations. Like we're just yeah.
Yeah, that time period
Of course.
passed, dog.
Oh yeah, look, it's still a discussion.
It could
And
be.
in my opinion, yes,
Like I
we
said-
should get reparations. But anyways,
The issue with reparations is
not
that
tryna-
it pertains to the people of that time period. All of them are dead, so it's just like,
It's still affecting us though.
of course we
They
got
did.
affected, but we don't get a piece of that pie. The ones who deserved it already passed away, so we basically got skipped. It is what it is.
yeah, believe me, reparations were not skipped because people did get
Nah,
reparations.
other groups
The
got
ones-
reparations,
Nope,
but
that's
this was after the heavy criticism of us not getting reparations in terms of black minorities, because Jews got reparations. They was chilling.
Yeah, other people.
Shoot.
Okay, man.
Clearly.
Also says, and because there's a confusion of fairness and equality in the community, there's a chaos, etc. Because they're led by emotion. Of course.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what we were talking about earlier. There is a lot of emotions, and like I said, when we discussed the Cherry Valley thing real quick, it was such a, oh my God, I can't believe I just said that. How is this person going to react? Are they going to be offended? It was.
Are you
Like
going
I
to
said,
give a
we've been
quick?
conditioned to really
Are
react
you
violently.
are you going to give a quick recap on the Cherry Valley story?
No,
For-
go
for-
back
for-
and watch
for
what video was it? When we were talking about pronouns. Go back to that video and you'll see.
Link in the bio.
Link in
I'll
bio.
put the link in the bio. Oh, okay. I just won with a pair of kings and a two pair, aces and kings. There we go.
You lucky bastard.
I told you wasn't taking my money.
Should have folded.
I know.
What is the name of the?
What'd you have,
I
Jaquan?
had a two pair, aces and sevens, but Brian had a
That's
pair
what I
of
see
kings
you.
in his hands.
Oh, you wasn't ready.
Dante,
they-
get back that
What
chip.
happened?
They gave him the world.
Get back
Also,
that
I'm
chip.
big again.
Dante.
Look, I gave it back. See?
Why y'all just passing the big around?
Not playing scullies. Pass the chip. That's my stuff for a sec. So this actually brings up an interesting point because I wanted to ask, what is the job of a comedian?
A comedian?
Because comedians weren't just about jokes. They're still not just about jokes. Their thing was.
I mean, yeah, they have an extra layer of an effect in terms of their ability. Obviously, they make jokes in terms of the social climate, and it tends to be social commentary with their jokes, of course, because obviously they got to talk about the up-to-date kind of stuff. And
but
it's,
it's
you
not
can make
just
things humorous
talking
from
about
it,
it.
right?
They're
They have
literally
an
bringing up
effect.
points of contention and points of hypocrisy. That's how they. That's why these jokes
Yeah,
are
that's
funny.
why these jokes work, especially stereotypes.
But now it's like, okay, you can't do that anymore.
So
what should a
basically,
comedian
Yeah,
do?
limiting their power.
So pretty much at a point in time, the job of a comedian was to make you laugh. Now in this day and age, the job of a comedian is to politically correctly make you laugh.
A comedian is not supposed to be doing
Which
that.
kinda
in my
sucks.
opinion.
Real quick, you said just making. I don't feel like it was just making people laugh because back then, I don't know the real old comedians.
Yeah, I wonder
know
how far
Bernie
back you
Mac,
know.
I know Chris Rock. They talked about
that ain't that far.
stuff.
Of course they did, yeah.
I mean, yeah, they obviously gonna mention it,
They were
but
able.
Everybody.
the
Like I said,
backlash was
they're jokes.
nowhere near as severe.
That's
bro.
what I'm saying.
Which
So now, what did it? Now is it just jokes? Because when you say politically
Well-
correct jokes, now it's just like, all right, let me just.
I was gonna say, we're
but
in
not
the-
something that makes you think.
Yeah, we're in the social media era, so things are.
in terms-
Hold on.
That's what I was-
Politically correct means you don't offend with it. That doesn't mean you don't address the
Isn't
issue.
that part of bringing up hypocrisy and contention?
Yeah, you can bring it up without offending, like how we're talking about it without having no personal bias against anything.
The thing is,
You
I
know what I'm
promise. See, we're talking about a subjective thing.
Yeah.
There will be people that's offended by this discussion.
Of
Just
course.
bringing
I
up
mean,
Dave
that's a
Chappelle and
given.
bringing attention to him.
Well,
It's gonna make some people.
But one
offended.
thing I am going to say, look, personally, between offense, right? As a matter of fact, not even personally, generally speaking, offense is a matter of your perspective.
Yeah.
Unless
Because
it's,
I could say one thing right now, Jaquan be like, oh, that's nothing, and Monica could be like, or Malik could be like,
True.
agree with either one of them. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Well, my name got to be in this.
Right, and why I have to be the one to take.
You know, you could leave, bro.
Just follow the script.
There's a script.
They
Yo.
planned
In
it.
progress.
Yo, both of y'all about to get the baby before this.
Oh my.
Obviously.
Is that a threat?
Somebody
or what?
down 911.
So no, I agree. Yeah, it's
Pay
definitely
attention to the game,
subjective.
Dante.
So now, okay. So when let's say you say, I feel like watching something funny,
Yeah.
right? What do you expect now? What are your expectations? Is it just a ha ha he he, or do I want to think Do I want a comedian that's gonna bring up a topic?
All right, so if I'm being blunt and I'm being brutally honest, right?
Okay.
Comedians talk about many different controversial topics, right?
Yeah, because
But I didn't click on a documentary. I clicked on a stand-up comedy show.
Right.
I'm expecting to laugh. If they bring in topics that address many different issues, all right, so be it. But I mainly clicked on that with the purpose of having my chest tight laughing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't click on it to get a whole, we must fight the oppression speech. I clicked on it with the expectation they're going to tell me some funny stories or they're going to make some funny statements and I'm going to be cracking up at it. That was my expectation when I clicked the stand-up comedy. Everything that comes following that is their choice to do that, and that is just to add on to what you mainly followed the video for. It is a comedy at the end of the day. So if they do it, they address it. But if they don't, they don't. It's their stand-up, not mine. We paid to watch them.
I was gonna say one of the abilities that comics have, or at least the more talented ones, is their ability to target, different social aspects. Obviously, to make jokes about it, but they can also bring
hold
light.
your mic closer. Sorry.
They can also bring light to other, obviously to the hypocrisy of statements, like you said earlier, which is obviously what Dave's whole special is about. As you can see clearly, he's being humorous in terms of the dialogue and the banter and whatnot, right? But then at the same time, it's supposed to make you reflective a bit too. That it is pretty funny, but then it's like it's a sad funny in a way because it's realistic, especially the baby thing. That was priceless. Man could catch a body, but then he says a couple words that his career about to be over in 2 seconds. It's crazy. Right. Takes a human life, the most precious thing in the world. Nothing. He says some words to a very minor community.
Let's just include that in there. He was forced to in that situation. Yeah. Not like he went there with the intent to do it.
And the other thing too is that we forget how small this community is in the first place. They're incredibly small, like very, versus how big, just say the Hispanic minorities are. Like they're way huger than the LGBT ever will be. They'll never be that large. It's just impossible. And yet this is how much power they have. That's the strange thing about it. There's this abnormal power dynamic of such an incredibly small
You know
group.
what brings power? Money.
Well, there is money. But that's the strange thing. The money isn't very consistent with this group in the first place.
Who said it?
There are
Who
white
said
people.
Well, not necessarily white people. We've seen plenty of black, like, LGBT be posted everywhere. Doesn't seem to matter. As long as you just fit in with the narrative, that's it. Did I say how much is it?
We have a disagreement? We see your views. We clearly see your views.
Bruce Man said, I'm offended.
Yep.
So let him stay offended. Yo, get out the street.
Bruce Man about to get
What's
the baby.
he offended about?
Nah, he jealous. He just want to be a part of this podcast, but he can't be. Oops. What are y'all doing here? What is...
Matching this fool.
Oh, I'm like, wait, what kind of outrageous...
I'm hijacking.
Bro,
kind
the
of
Reddit's
outrageous
5,
mess is
5,
that?
10, 15,
I know,
20,
but I was
25,
like...
25, 25, 50.
I'm there like, yo, what kind of outrageousness?
Malik mathematics.
I just did
No, I'm just seeing all. No, I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness.
What the?
We got to teach
what in
the
the world?
dealer. This is the faux pas.
Oh my.
Somebody folded.
This is the deck. We got to...
Oh. Well, we see what's
I'll deal everybody.
We need a new dealer.
Y'all doing so much for all these different colors.
You better
Y'all
watch
supposed
the
to bet
dang
same
tutorial.
color.
All right, so for the audience and the dealer. Oh, by the way, so we're gonna shortly post a how-to video, or rather, how we play poker video, so you guys will be able to follow on better with what we do. But for the audience, again, for the audience and for our dealer,
Oh my god. Teachable moment.
the colors and the numbers are as follows: red is 5, green is 10, blue is 25, white is 50, and black is 100.
We said blue, black. Which one?
Black is 100, blue is 25. I already made the mistake once today. All right, who won?
That ace, man.
Oh, let
That
the
ace.
audience see.
I'll have pair of
The
sixes.
audience about to see Malik get the baby.
Aces.
Yo, stop
not
bringing
about
up
to be a
that
thing.
conversation.
Baby on me.
Quoted, put on the shirt. Anyway,
Whoa. You gonna put Malik on a shirt? Alive or dead or alive?
get the baby on the shirt.
You just see the words dead or alive?
What? I'm about to turn Malik into a news reporter. What? And put butter on the chips.
I definitely.
So Donte goes
Alright.
and watch comedians for the ha ha he he.
Nah.
Honestly, the jokes that hit the
I'm here
best
for the talent.
are the ones of contention. I'm gonna just be honest with you.
It takes
The
talent
jokes
to
that
make people
me
laugh, bro.
Really
See,
laugh.
I'm getting put on blast because of y'all. That's ridiculous.
You know, jokes that go beyond just sex. You know, jokes that really
Jaquan
make
tripped
you-
me on purpose once. Nah, you was just clumsy on purpose.
I believe
bro.
that.
I don't agree with that. I ain't do anything.
Those are the jokes. If I want to just get the ha ha he he, I'll just
It ain't
Go
fun.
on Instagram, go on Facebook. I watch people making funny videos all the time.
Obviously, but I
Who'd
was
you trip on purpose, Jaquan?
apparently Bruce Wayne coming out my neck. I ain't do a damn thing.
All right, so we're gonna block Bruce Wayne after this.
Yeah, right.
All right, we got a match.
I get high all the time.
Keep everything centered so the audience can see.
What the?
He's trying to get his money back.
Where you gonna get the money from, Jaquan?
Who knows?
Let me think here. I was like,
I'm
let me
trying
use
to
my
think
things
too.
correctly.
He's thinking. No wait, he's typing.
I'm tired of folding. Let's do this.
50.
I'll keep my money.
Boom. Almost finesse Malik again. Alright, match.
I told you it ain't happening.
Jaquan making us do math. Everybody bet 200. Let's do this.
It's okay, man. You had to take how much calculus courses?
It's not easy out here. 300.
Where's this man?
I know he's
You throwing
bluffing.
chips on the ground like you a
I
duelist?
know he's bluffing.
Wait, this ain't Yu-Gi-Oh, man.
This is
Right.
say Yu-Gi-Oh.
I'm already broke. Looks like I'm gonna
Alright.
stay broke.
Wimp.
Donte.
I just can't be broker than I am now. Alright, so let me bring this
yeah,
up. Right?
you can get back to the topic. I lost track because I'm trying to.
Nah, I was talking about the whole ha he's
Right.
But, you know, it seems like
like some
it doesn't
intelligence.
really matter if a comedian, at least amongst this table, it doesn't really matter if a comedian is bringing up those important topics or just talking about stuff that are funny.
If they're actually
as long as you're
comedians.
laughing, it sounds like people
Right.
are content getting this. For me though, I want a comedian because to me that seems from when I started with comedy,
There's a flush on the table.
people
I know
were
it.
bringing up those important topics,
Jaquan showed him cards.
and I don't feel like that's something that should have stopped. Personally,
Yeah, there's a flush on the table.
and you,
I knew.
that's why. Yeah, you had
Jaquan
to
ain't get me. I
jump.
seen that coming.
Jaquan went
No,
to
you
the
didn't.
flush. So
Man, folded
you
on the
see-
first three cards.
You want to see what cards I had first?
What you had?
Hold on. I feel like
Why
I'm
did you
going to
fold
be
on?
very mad. But anyway.
I'm gonna
That
have
could
some
have been
heat.
you, bro.
Got some heat.
Nah, wait,
Nah.
no.
I had
Jaquan
the
still
king of
would have won.
diamonds,
He had the
baby.
king. Yeah,
Ain't nobody's gonna beat the king.
yeah. Ain't nobody gonna be the king.
No, the ace is on the table. So what you
I
got?
had the king and his
Yeah.
wife.
Nah, if I have the king of diamonds,
No, you had the queen. Jaquan had the king.
Yeah.
No, I had a king and a queen.
Yeah.
That wasn't part of the flush though.
No,
Queen
no,
the
that
king
was
of
just my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you had
The queen was
The
part of the
flush.
flush.
The
The
queen
king
was part of
wasn't.
the flush.
So
The
the
king
queen is
wasn't.
what would have counted.
so yeah, you wouldn't have won.
Yeah, you wouldn't have won.
Yeah, so it's a good thing you folded.
Why you looking at me like that?
'Cause
You
I
ain't
got
getting
your-
no money
got
back.
your punk. Alright, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
You know he gonna screw up.
No,
Don't give my chip.
I don't know what you talking about.
Nah, you gonna screw up.
Get out of here.
He's scared.
Wait,
Scared of what?
So
you
yeah,
were starting to say, you were saying that.
a comedian. Look, you got to do your work. If you're gonna be out here and getting famous, you got to just do more than you. You got to be inspiring. You
I was
gotta,
just big blind, right?
You got to be
Yeah, so give me the small
influential.
blind, Malik. How the heck that get over?
You know, a lot of people when they make art, their art also has some significance.
True.
And comedians have always been significant in culture, other than
course.
just the ha-ha.
I forgot exactly when it happened.
All right, bro.
got
Before
me
you
thinking
keep going,
something
it's like I said earlier.
Yes.
Yes, I watch stand-up comedy for the stand-up,
No,
but
you-
that doesn't mean I don't appreciate every other part that comes with it.
Right.
And I'm not saying
I don't.
And I'm not saying that everything else that's involved is not going to be a part of it. All I'm saying is a stand-up comedy. They don't need to, but they generally take that route and do that.
What I'm saying is, for me, they need to. What? Hold up. What did you just do?
And I'm saying you're asking them for an obligation that they're not entitled to.
I'm watching you.
I was just trying
Yo,
to watch
right?
it.
You heard?
Yeah.
That's an obligation that they're not entitled to. Remember, it's a comedy.
That's
not
what I'm
a
asking.
political
I'm just
discussion.
trying to ask your opinions. What do you guys think? For me
Yeah.
personally,
I do like
yes,
political
it's a
humor.
must.
It is political humor is funny, but like I said, it's not an obligation for a comedian to do that.
I agree.
on
It's
his
not
own.
an obligation.
Yeah, but the most interesting comedians are the ones that's willing to tackle any topic in general.
Yeah.
Especially, the ones that are like, politics are always viewed as a very serious affair. So they make it comedic. They can also give engagement to audiences who don't understand politics very well in the first place because of the comedy of it. Now that comedy is a universal aspect, you can literally bring in any group. And then if you have the flexibility of targeting any group from your own personal experiences, you're able to include all groups in the humor. Dave Chappelle's big thing is why does the LGBT, or at least the radicals, gotta be falling out of the humor? Why can't they see the humor in all this stuff? I mean, blacks had to see the humor in all this stuff, and we got it pretty damn bad, which is what he's saying.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like all groups complain about certain
Something
topics
that
comedians
happened.
bring about. It's not just the LGBTQ community. It's just again,
It's black.
who's
I know,
speaking
I
the
know.
loudest, who's contending the loudest. And I think that's why this
Malik?
is such a topic. This comes up often because
Let me think.
again, to bring it all back, the
Yes.
hypocrisy of it all. So, but again, comedians, they've done this in the past, and it's something I like. I'm just saying personally. I just wanted to get you guys' opinions on it.
Got you.
So, actually, what do you think, Malik? What do you think about the role of a comedian? What should they do?
The role of the comedian, in my opinion, is there to make you entertain you for that time being. Like, for instance, Donte saying he enjoys stand-up comedy.
Right.
For that time being, you want to be the person there in the hot seat laughing. You can, but like at the same time, you gotta be somebody who can take a joke. There's people out here that can't take a joke for anything.
I agree.
Like,
And then
I
why
don't
you pay for a comedy?
yeah, I mean, like, you gotta be able to take, in terms of a comedy, in my opinion, you gotta be able to take some type of criticism. How if you want to change it.
Actually, that's a good point, because you know what happens a lot? What comedians will do is they will single people out in the audience, and they will start roasting them.
Exactly.
Or use them to bounce off another topic. So that goes along the ha-ha he. So is that okay now?
If I am able to do that,
Should be.
if I'm able to do this, like referencing a comedian I watch
Yeah.
on YouTube, Jeff Dunham. You see him with the puppets. He singles out. What's the name of that old man puppet? Walter singles out people and all that type of stuff, making jokes.
Yeah, I think-
And then boom, the cameraman goes to that person. You see that person dying.
The other thing I was gonna say too, they tend to put a disclaimer on if they might interact with the audience, so you already know what you signed up for when you come in there. So
Pretty much.
you could be a part of the joke.
Okay, that's fair.
So if you came there and you butthurt about jokes being made about you, you knew what you did when you bought that ticket.
Right. Oh, what about the people that bought tickets to the Chappelle show went there and sat there with a mug face the whole time?
Yeah, you saw some people in the audience just straight face upset.
Like they didn't know what they was coming there for.
This man has been in the game for decades. Like, you know what his humor is. It'll be unfiltered and he's going.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
And not to mention they sat front seat on.
Right.
True.
You got it,
Malik.
Hasn't
They were gonna move their
Dave
seat.
Chappelle been someone who just doesn't, shall I say, just doesn't care in that terms?
No,
Yeah,
he
He will
he
make
does.
the jokes.
Yeah, he does care. He's just like, everything is free game to a degree.
Exactly.
Unless it's ridiculous, like taboo topics.
Me and Jaquan knocked, by the way.
yeah, wait on Malik.
Alright.
Right ahead. Sorry about that.
No. You was talking. Respect the speaker. So
Wait, finish your thought, Malik.
No, my thought is done.
yeah, no. So again,
How much?
75.
Oh my goodness.
Free blues.
And I want to hear your opinion as well. What
200.
should a comedian do, Monica?
Something tells me I'm
mean-
gonna regret this, but oh well.
I feel like I also like the political side of it. Like, I feel like his was like perfect. There were things in his that I was like,
Straight.
this is not funny. Like,
Oh,
some of the topics that
thank
he
goodness
brought
Jaquan would have gotten some money from me.
up- Some of the topics that he brought up, I was like, this is not, like, I don't really see the joke in
I
this.
was trying to see.
I thought
But-
I was like a chance of
Jaquan.
having a queen.
I personally like that
I
it
was-
wasn't
I
just
was
straight up
betting,
like,
I was like, nobody gonna
because
hit.
like in the current climate,
If
I
you had
feel
a
like
queen, that's the only thing.
things need to be addressed. And like there are people who listen to Dave Chappelle that like might not be listening to other people talking about these issues, and like that's their only way of
That's their news,
that's their
essentially.
news. Yeah.
But that's the thing, you have the ability
Watching
of.
comedies sticks is the news nowadays.
Some people do use comedy as news in a way, but you have the flexibility of options. If you're not spreading your options, that's on you, honestly. You know
But I
what
feel like everybody is not walking around saying what Dave Chappelle said. Like his main point that like it's not fair and how like the difference in how the groups are treated. Like
Yeah.
everybody, that's not everywhere. That message isn't everywhere.
Nah.
And so I'm sure some of the people for the first time who watched his
Special.
show, like heard this for the first time and they took it the way they wanted to. Either they were offended or they were like, I didn't think about that. Like
Exactly. He wants you to think in general.
Yeah.
That's
See,
one of the
and I
things
like
in
that
that
comedy,
instant, you see how you guys are saying how like people kind of treat the whole comedy thing as news. Look at the news reporters. First thing, even news reporters will have their own how you say,
Biases?
bias on how they view the situation.
Yeah.
They can be part of the
They could be
LGBT.
pro LGBT and be like, I don't see
nah.
nothing.
I mean, like you gotta see it from But if you are, or if you want to,
Yeah.
be able to see it from their standpoint. If you do or do not want to, that's your business. I'm not here to be, how do you say, changing your opinions.
Change your opinion. No, you're just stating yours.
Yeah.
So if somebody's opinion changed from what you said, okay. I was gonna say a big thing with Dave being the one to talk about it. He's a huge presence in the comedy game in the first place, right? So if he's talking about something that's been a reoccurring point the last couple of years, then he's trying to make people see the impact of how big this is. That's the reason why it's humorous to him, or humorous in general. It's just like him, like for a time period he's out of the game, and thus he came back. He had made these jokes years prior, right? Wasn't as big of a deal. Everybody was laughing, but now he's like, oh dang, I say this and then y'all gonna cancel me. But he has that power dynamic.
The
Thus
world
he's not
has
very easy to
changed.
cancel.
The way how people see things now.
Yeah, but it's like every little thing is offensive now. That was the issue. Like we literally had people or groups that every little thing became offensive. That's where it became a problem. It's like we can't make jokes anymore, which is why his whole thing was he's waiting until we can laugh together in a way.
I think also just him being a black person and delivering the message, like it.
Yeah.
I feel like I receive the message in one way as a black person, but like somebody who's not black, or like somebody who is of the LGBT community, probably received it a completely different way. Like before we were talking about this, and I was like, I would love to see a video of
What
like
about a
someone
black
from that
LGBT
community
person receiving it?
When I say LGBT, I mean
black
like
LGBT.
I know exactly what you mean.
That's
but
why
I'm
like
also throwing
before
it in
this
there.
episode, like before this episode, I was like, I would love to see a video of like one of the people in the LGBT community explaining why they're so offended by this, because like I genuinely want to understand.
You want to
what
get more of
is
their
the
perspective.
Yeah, like what exactly about it is so offensive.
Trust me, that's when you'll see.
Bryton understands.
Because they feel
you offended.
A lot of a lot of the quick arguments is they're being oppressed in terms of dialogue, but it's like we're making jokes, and then he could easily rebuttal with, I make jokes about my own people. So it's just like if I basically did the equality aspect right there. I made jokes about my own people and about you, so fair is fair. He's showing fair game.
But like if he was white, like making some of the same jokes he was making about black people, like obviously like we wouldn't take it, or I speak for myself, like I wouldn't have taken it the same way. So potentially for the people in the LGBT community, as him being a straight person making jokes about it, like if he was also gay or like LGBT, whatever, like they might not have been as offended coming from another person.
Or it's just
community.
like either they'll be like, oh nah, he's betrayed us, or they'd be like, one of our own people is saying how ridiculous this is. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which is gonna put more of a light on it in general.
I feel like there'll be more of the whole situation, like you said, where like, oh, he betrayed us. I feel like there'll be more of that than you get the other situation.
Or then inside the less radicals are like, somebody is finally speaking on how ridiculous this is.
Yeah, and like, what is the betrayal? Like, is it that
Yeah.
we're expecting it to be covered up?
Big fail.
Like, I don't get where the betrayal comes in.
Exactly. In terms of the
goal.
Yeah, that's the strange thing. Let me see.
This
Those who
is
are kind of reveling in this extra power that they possess. 'Cause that's the tricky thing about power.
reveling, huh?
Once the power dynamic pops up, it gets rather crazy.
Again, this brings up the whole thing about it being subjective. So, one thing I would say is, and this goes towards the end of the Chappelle show. Oh my God.
Got it raised?
Y'all bet in 200?
I'll fold it quick.
Raised.
I'm not getting into this fight.
Is this whole thing Chappelle brings up about empathy. I think that really does wrap things up nicely. Like, at the end of the day, again, I said this before, we're all human, and we all have our struggles, and we can all empathize with each other. You know, he brings up a really, I guess, somber moment about a critical event that happened with him and his friend. And he says, it wasn't about being trans or being black. It was about being human and able to understand the pain. And like I said, to me, that's what I desire from a comedian.
Sure.
The ability to do that is really important to me.
Yeah.
Wrap everything up together. Say, this is the lesson I brought to you. Yeah, you were able to laugh at these jokes. Did you really hear what I was saying, though? True. And when a comedian does that, to me, that's impressive. To me, this is why Chappelle deserves to be on that big stage. The controversial stuff he says aside, because he be wildin'. I'm not even going to front. He do be wildin'. The first 5 minutes.
Have you watched the Dave Chappelle show? You have to expect that.
The nigga family.
Certain spaces you can't play the Chappelle show. I promise.
That was a segment on his show, bro.
I know.
That was a segment on his show.
Just saying. Bleep
Shut
this
up,
man
Donte.
out.
Why I gotta get bleeped? I can say it.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. You gonna stop me? Get the baby trying.
I get about it.
I'm the bouncer now. Look, y'all, this stick can only do so
I
much.
didn't point at you.
What?
Hey, the bouncer.
All right.
This is the bouncer.
Moving on.
Nah, we about to address that, bro.
What? Address what?
Check, dang it. Wait.
Oh, I'm so wait. Check. Oh,
Yeah,
shit,
so
I'm
right
sorry.
Mango's
That-
5 said something I can't read because I don't have my glasses.
In
but
terms of jokes, wait.
Some are also fancy by the idea of how rights are set for them, generally speaking. Just got back in. Yeah, of course, this goes back to the privilege, you know.
What do you mean she just got back in? Where we at?
Malik, shut up.
This goes back to privilege
dare
on
you.
how, you know,
About to
people
get
will
turned
take
into a news
advantage of the privileges that they have. And honestly, I don't blame them. Like, if you got this advantage, take it, because we certainly would if we had it. I know this. I'm
What's
not
wrong
being
with taking
hypocritical.
if a situation's in your favor?
Yeah, why not?
I feel like as long as you're not like stepping on somebody's head, why not take advantage?
Yeah, if you're not hurting anybody, sure. But the
True.
general thing is, in this day and
But at
age,
the same time, me
when you
saying that
are
statement.
taking advantage of
But,
somebody, you are stepping on somebody's neck.
but hold
well,
on.
now y'all see my hand. So
But hold on. But like at the same time, me saying that statement, I can also eat my words. I'm just saying. Wow.
fold if you want,
Oh, okay.
because Donte showed my hand. So what are you gonna do?
Oh, yeah, straight.
Exactly. Fold. Just fold.
I'll be hours ago.
Fold.
This sucks to lose on, man. Damn.
At least you didn't have to bet.
Nah, it's painful.
All right.
I was gonna fold.
Donte
'cause
saved your money.
Thank you.
Nah, I only had a pair of queens. I saw it. That's why I was like,
Yeah, I was
damn.
betting hard.
So what happened, Jaquan? You was hoping for a bluff or something?
Nah, I just needed another queen.
He was hoping for.
He
a
was
bluff,
betting on that
ladies
Hail
and
Mary, but really he was bluffing.
Not necessarily. I had a pair of queens from the beginning.
Hey, Donte saved you. You would have bet more money.
I wasn't gonna bet. I was gonna fold. I had one pair. One pair is back.
Oh, we reached a time limit for
Yes, yes, we
Instagram.
did. Now shut up.
it's had done.
I'm going to bed.
Yeah, so
Later.
that does wrap it up, though. Again, I think Chappelle did what he had to do as a comedian.
That he did.
You know, he did show that. He did point out the hypocrisy of it. Still wilding. I'm gonna just throw that out.
Yes,
there.
but good wallet.
But yeah. So that's all I want to say about the show. Do you guys have any following thoughts you want to wrap up this segment on?
He's rich and famous.
Dante's a
So that gives him the right to do what he wants.
Dante is a
Isn't that
debate.
usually how it goes?
Let's
You
cancel.
try to
Dante.
start a whole separate debate? All right, don't worry. We're gonna talk about that.
That is a whole separate
Yeah,
situation.
we will
in
talk
that
about
opinion.
that.
There's four
Why
of
you think I
us.
said it?
We could the baby over here.
It's gonna take 4 of us to baby. Wow.
I'm just saying we have numbers.
Listen. We can hire 3 more stooges, and then we can fully the baby him.
What are we paying them? Bananas?
Yeah.
Yo, all three.
Listen.
Yo, this fool gonna get canceled because all 3 of y'all about to get turned into news reports. I'm telling you right now.
We getting 3 from this. 4 of us here.
I'm not on a
1,
reporter.
2, 3 gonna get turned.
Where did he get?
Nah. I'm not gonna get canceled for that.
He's a separate news report. You getting a special?
I did
Nah,
deserve to be special.
I can't do that.
Listen.
If I do something to
whoever's
her, I'm
being-
getting canceled. If I body all 3 of y'all though, that's gonna get views.
You know what he's saying? When
You might as body.
If we still
You
recording,
gonna body the women in the background? Like you gonna say all this activism? I said advocatism. What the heck?
y'all see.
All this activism over
Threats.
here, and then you over here go attack the. You gonna get us destroyed out here, wildin'. My God.
Nah, I'm just going to debate.
Ladies and gentlemen,
This has been.
all I have to say is, don't trust this man here, Donte. If you see him on
I'm the most trustworthy one here.
I don't know about all that. Man, it's about the baby. Hey, give my shit.
What happened?
Give my shit. I did pretty good. I stacked it back up.
We gonna
okay,
end.
hold on. Any last thoughts or anything you want to say? Just
They're both black.
I said it.
Hold on, let Monica speak.
My last thoughts on this topic are:
Nothing.
wow. Everybody needs to mind their business, be kind to other people,
Uh-huh.
and that's that.
But yeah, so
This
anybody
has
would
been.
like to do it.
It's gonna be my bedtime, y'all. This has been Facts.
Opinions.
Don't start, Dante.
I already said I'm not
Laser
part of this.
surgery?
Oh my god.
Don't look at me.
Why didn't you just say disseminations?
Decimals?
Decisions?
I'll take it. We're done.